Hello, my name is Canevez. I'm here to present our talk, Peace, Protest, and Technology, How Information and Media Globalization is Shifting Peace Organizations and Practices. This presentation is for the NYU CIC Emerging Technologies and Peacebuilding Workshop. My affiliations are the School of Communication at the University of Manoa and the Trust Network. So just a brief self-introduction, I'm a postdoctoral research fellow at School of Communications, UH Manoa. My research is on social movements, peace, nonviolent activism, and state accountability, and you can reach out to me at any time at that email. I'll share it again at the end as well. So just to frame a little bit of why we think that this work is relevant to humanitarian actors, we know that violence blocks humanitarian interests and humanitarian actors. Violence prevention and social movements are evolving to meet this challenge, as well as evolving with media and information globalization. With the rising political violence of demonstrations in the West, international analysts are increasingly using various digital information sources to provide real-time violence-related information to local actors during demonstrations, for example, social media and live streams. This work in progress is exploring the work of these so-called remote support monitors. So who are these remote support monitors? Well, we define them as these volunteers who monitor, collect, and analyze information from a variety of sources, for example, social media and live streams, and then disseminate to local actors, as well as record incidents. They have their origins in early warning, early response systems, or early warning, early action systems, which have historically monitored election-related political violence, as well as crisis situations in many contexts, for example, elections in Africa. There is growing interest in the West, however, to leverage crowdsourced information through the expertise of analysts like this. And in turn, these analysts will interact with local response actors, for example, peace teams, community leaders, or even social movement organizers. So the objective of this study is to explore how the transnational media information is shifting social movement organizing through the eyes of these remote support monitors, especially with regards to violence prevention and detection. The study design is that we're using qualitative methods across a variety of sources, including interviews with remote support practitioners and content analysis of Slack channels and training manuals for remote support monitors through this organization called Political Incident Reporting USA, or PIRUSA. Some of the preliminary findings we addressed were we're trying to understand, first of all, who are these remote support monitors? We've learned that they come from all walks of life, many different age groups and backgrounds, as well as they're located around the world, and they monitor incidents in places where they may have never visited in their lives. With regards to their workflow, they first will conduct preliminary research into an event or a situation to understand that context. In doing so, they hope to identify relevant and trustworthy information sources that they can then use. They will then visualize this information across various streams to understand that context, including but not limited to things like Facebook, TweetDeck, which is an add-on to Twitter, or GIS, should the expertise be present. They will then send messages to local actors, typically via SMS, based on information that's determined to be relevant and trustworthy to help local actors meet violence or prevent violence. They will then record incidents, record events, in turn producing incident reports. An emergent discussion that came out of these preliminary findings is this need to rethink the local in violence prevention. Know that violence prevention action has historically been locally defined as well as enacted. But what does the rise of these remote support monitors suggest about this? We know that they're internationally located. They've never visited, they're monitoring many areas where they've never visited in their lives. At the same time, they're using globalized information and media to build a local-like awareness. For example, GIS for spatial awareness, or understanding a local information ecosystem through local journalists or activists that will provide that information awareness. Then they're ironically disseminating information to local actors about events around those local actors from distance. So this is an understanding of locality, of local that they are developing, but is it really a local understanding? This is one of the puzzles that we're trying to address in this research. So, brief concluding remarks for this short 5-minute talk is this is currently work in progress. There are more results to be released in the future. But for humanitarian actors, we have known that humanitarian solutions must be tailored to a local context for them to be effective. But how is this shifting in the age of globalized information media, changing this narrative of this discussion? How is this work is evolving? So we believe that some of the findings from our work will have direct relevance to humanitarian actors in any context. Lastly, if you have experience with community-driven violence prevention systems in any context and would like to chat about this work, particularly the tools and technology used, please contact me at canevez@hawaii.edu. Thank you.